So, as promised a couple of days ago, here is the first cheese from the Fresh Cheese Kit by Millie. Now, I chose to make halloumi with the time I had available. So I managed to get everything out of there, clipped the thermometer on the side, sanitised everything in my pot, and started to measure out the stuff for this cheese. So you need 2 rennet tablets, and you crush those up and they dissolve in 1/4 cup of water. Then you need 2 millilitres of calcium chloride, and also put that in 1/4 cup of water. They're all the ingredients you need besides the milk. So got all my gear out, it's all sanitised, been steamed. We've got the pot ready, so filling it up with the 4 litres of full cream or whole milk. Clip the thermometer on the side, and we're bringing it up to temperature. And the temperature we want the milk at before we add anything is 45 degrees Celsius or 113 Fahrenheit. So adding in the calcium chloride now to give the curds a better set. Now these rennet tablets are very low strength. They are 60 IMCU each. So that's why you need 2 of them. Not very strong at all. Anyway, the milk was starting to get a bit hot, so before I added anything, and allowed the milk to set before I added in the rennet, which is just there. So I had to give a bit of a stir because it all sunk to the bottom. So just give that a bit of a stir before you pour it into your milk. Now, I apologise for the overexposure. I'm getting used to a new camera, and it's all manual. So stir that through. Stir for no more than 1 minute. Just check the temperature before you pop the lid on, and we're going to rennet or set the milk for 45 minutes. There we go. Okay, 45 minutes later, I decided to check it, and we're going to check for a clean break. Look, it cut okay, but I think it was a bit sloppy. This initial cut, I didn't think it was clean enough, especially with the finger. So it hardly split at all. It split too messily, if that's a word. And I decided to let that rest or set for, I think, about 10 minutes more. There we are. Okay, we check for a clean break again. And it split a lot cleaner that time. Okay, so now it's time to cut the curd. And we're going to cut into 1/2 inch or 1.25 centimetre cubes as best you can. Now, I am not using my normal curd harp because I want to show you how to do it properly with a knife, because that's what you'll get with the kit. There won't be any curd harp or anything like that. So we're just cutting at a 45-degree angle once I've done the verticals to try and get cube size. Cut it as best you can. Now, it doesn't say so in the recipe, however, I know and you know better that we're going to allow it to rest for 10 minutes for the curds to heal. Otherwise, you'll get a big sloppy mess when you first start stirring. So that healing time makes all the difference, I guarantee it. Okay, so there are some cubes that are a little bit bigger than 1 centimetre or 1/2 inch. So I've decided to cut them on the fly. Now we stir for 10 minutes to expel some more whey. Remembering this is still at 45 degrees Celsius or 113 Fahrenheit. So after the 10 minutes, and the temperature's been maintained, you'll see the curd size will shrink quite a bit. And you can see they just press it to see if it's still springy. You don't want them to disintegrate in your hand. They're fine. So I'm going to take them over to the sink now. I'm going to drain them through the cheesecloth, which is supplied in the kit as well. Drain that as best you can. Now most of the whey goes away. Now I'm collecting the whey because we're going to use that to cook the halloumi in later on. It doesn't say anywhere in the recipe to collect the whey, so it says use water. So I'm using whey as I've traditionally used in the past. So just gather up the curds as best you can with the four corners. And we're going to move on to a very simple pressing. In the recipe it says place a glass bowl on top of the cheesecloth when it's folded over in the colander. And now I thought it was a little bit better if you press it just between some boards. Now I've done this before and it seems to work fine for halloumi. So just make a bit of a tail there of the cheesecloth. Just twist a little bit so it's all gathered up, and then pop another board on top. And I'm going to put 2 kilos of weight, which is about 4 pounds. There we go. So you let that press for about 30 minutes and just check the curds before you go to this next stage, which is cutting. Just make sure it's firm, not too rubbery. And I thought, yeah, the firmness was okay on this one. So I'm just going to cut it into fairly large sort of blocks. Just make sure it's not sticking to the cheesecloth. So just cut it into 6 fairly equal pieces. Now you've got to heat your whey. I actually added another 4 litres of water to this. So heat it up to 100 degrees Celsius or 212 Fahrenheit, and then turn the heat off. And then just put your pieces in the just boiled whey slant water mixture. And what we're doing here is cooking the halloumi, and it all sinks to the bottom to start with, and then over time it will float to the top. Now the first bit floated at the 15-minute mark. In the recipe it says 5 to 10 minutes, so don't believe anything you read. So 15 minutes was when the first one floated. The second one floated about 2 or 3 minutes after that. Then I had to wait a long time. Now you'll see in the background there I've got a tray just with the salt that came in the kit, and I've got some dried mint, which I find is absolutely delicious with halloumi. So I've just got that spread on the tray for salting. Now halloumi is a heavily salted cheese, and I've also drying the bits of halloumi on just a baking rack with a tray underneath it so it doesn't drip all over the stove. So when you salt it, you just turn the halloumi over and over to give it a little bit of a rub, and then put it back on the rack. Now you wait for the cheese to actually cool down a little bit first so you can handle it. It's still got to be warm when you salt it, because you want as much salt to absorb as you can. But you don't put it in there wet. Anyway, so the next 3 pieces came out a fair bit down the track. So there we go. And the last one just would not float. Wasn't floating for anybody's business. Anyway, so I continued on, as you can see. I kept the temperature, so it's about the 28 minute mark there, just showing everybody, because I was timing how long it was going to take for each piece of halloumi. So you just got to be patient. They will float eventually, and as they cool down you can just salt them. So the last one floated at about the 29 minute mark. It took to cook that piece of halloumi. So as they cool down, as I said, just salt them and rub the mint leaves into them as well. Now in the last halloumi video I made ages ago, I actually folded them over. Now I could have done that at this stage, but I didn't find I needed to. There we go. Now here's the piece de resistance. I think I said that right. Now a little bit of olive oil in the frying pan. So these are cooled right down now, the pieces of halloumi I'm just about to cook. A little bit of olive oil in the frying pan so it's hot enough. And then When you think the oil is hot enough, you put your bits of halloumi in there. Now this only takes about 10 minutes, about 5 minutes each side for the halloumi to cook. And it will start to go brown, just slightly. But it won't melt. Because we cooked it in that 100-degree way, or 212 Fahrenheit, the cheese actually won't melt. It'll go soft, but it won't melt. It'll form this lovely brown skin, as you can see there, brown crust, as you cook it a little bit longer. It's mouth-watering stuff. So this was I heated it on a medium heat. I didn't do it at high, so I didn't want it to burn. There we go. That's the colour you're looking for when you cook your halloumi. Now I've been told by Cypriot friends of mine that halloumi is delicious eaten by itself, just like this, or it can be enjoyed with pieces of watermelon. Apparently that's what they traditionally do on Cyprus. So I didn't have any watermelon, unfortunately, so basically, here we go. Oh, it's fantastic. Beautiful cheese. If you haven't tried halloumi, I highly recommend it. It is beautiful. Well, thanks for watching, Curd Nerds. Appreciate you checking out this halloumi video made using the Mad Millie fresh cheese kit. If I can do it, anybody can. Okay, if you want to check out the how I made halloumi the old-fashioned way, then you can check out over here. Don't forget you can subscribe to the channel so you can get more cheesy videos like this one. And you can pick up the kit, the fresh cheese kit, just over there. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.